Elaine Burks is in the waiting room. Should I let her in? Unmute yourself.
I said, let's just put it to live first and then I'm recording this.
Oh, snap. It definitely is asking me for this URL again.
It says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Hold on, let me make you a host.
Okay. Can you let people in or do I have to do that?
Wait till let them in at 5:30 when it starts.
Okay.
It's live now. You could go and try to see on your phone or something.
Yeah, I see it. It says 4 people entered the waiting room. Admit Dana, admit Elaine.
Okay, I'm taking the host rights back to let them in.
Okay.
Huh?
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi there. I need to change my name real fast. We share an account sometimes.
I was gonna say Dana's here.
Hello. Hold on. Sorry. Okay, there we go.
Everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Cool.
Hey everybody, I'm the moderator for tonight. So excited.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks.
I think in this minute we have here, you guys could let me know, do you want to do beeps or like clicks like to advance to the next slide? Or should I just listen to like as you speak? Because I could do that.
I think you can listen as we speak, but hopefully there'll be a transition, or then we can just kind of let you know if you want.
Yes. Let me change my name too. So excited. Okay. Michelle, I think you could start letting people in.
That's why I said I need to reclaim host.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody. Or good night.
Yeah. It's still afternoon over here in Phoenix, so.
Hot. It's really hot. It's getting hot. I'm gonna play some music as we enter. As people enter, I'm just gonna play some jazz music. I hope everybody's evening is going well.
Yeah, it's raining, so I was worried a little bit about my connection and the light. So yeah, it's pouring down rain here in Indianapolis right now. So,
Wow. It's like sunny. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. So it's sunny. Yeah.
Oh, Rachel, you're in Indianapolis. Oh, I went to school in Indiana
where'd you go?
at Purdue.
Oh, nice. My family has gone mostly to IU.
Oh,
But I went out of school. Yeah.
yeah.
So the trip
That's a good school.
It is. What'd you study at Purdue?
And finance.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna wait like 2 or 3 more minutes and then we're gonna kick off this webinar. I'll give everyone to like 5:35 to join.
Sounds good.
It's so nice to meet everybody finally after doing, all the groundwork, but I'm really excited for this webinar.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
Great
Super
that you're
fun.
doing it.
Say that again?
I said it's great that you're doing this.
Oh, yes. Really is so excellent. I'm so excited. This is one of the first times I've ever done something like this, like host a webinar. So, yeah. But I'm sure you guys are like Zoom savvy.
Well, we're on. I know I'm on Zoom a lot. I don't know about savvy, but I'm on a Zoom a lot. I think everybody is. We're on a lot.
Totally. And, frankly, this is one of those things that I think has been kind of a blessing through the pandemic is just folks are a lot more apt to reach out and be like, hey, I know you don't live here, but like, just jump on anyway. And so it's really nice to be able to have this, very broad reach without, having to pay for travel and coordinate all of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Even if you get zoomed out, it's like, man, this sure beats, being on the road. So
I would agree.
Mm-hmm. Though I miss New York City terribly. I'm sure it misses me too. I hope it misses me too. So, there are some places I'm dying to get back to.
How long did you live in New York? You went to school there?
No, actually, I never lived there. I did a lot of, I wish, right? Like in my dreams, before the pandemic with work, I traveled probably 3 or 4 times a year for different events and, speaking engagements. And of course, right now in March with Women's History Month and International Women's Day and all of that, it's a busy month for us. So yeah, but it's good. I'm thrilled to be able to do this, these kinds of things virtually as well. So it's nice, fills up the calendar even more.
Yeah, our my grandma lives in Brooklyn, and so spent a lot of time there growing up.
Yeah, no other place like it.
My niece is in Brooklyn. She moved there.
Yeah, Brooklyn is fabulous. I love it.
Okay, so now we are officially starting our webinar. Good night, everyone. My name is Michelle Wise. I am a junior at Clark Atlanta University studying marketing, and I am currently the president and founder of Elevate, which is an organization on my campus. It's a community service and professional development organization, so ties in perfectly with our theme. And I would like to introduce our lovely and esteemed panel for this evening, Miss Elaine Burks Mitchell from the Bra Recyclers, Miss Rachel Heger from I Support the Girls, Danielle Mcclechy from Carnicycle, and Sandra, also known as Sandy Jordette from Sandy's Angels. And in this webinar, we will learn about bra waste and affordability in TNT in celebration of Women's History Month. Feminine Helping Her, Carnicycle, Elevate, and my Carnival platform have partnered to bring you this webinar series. And in this webinar series, you'll learn so much regarding bra recycling, bra waste, and affordability in TNT. And in line with the theme of Women's History Month and International Women's Day, we wanted to provide you all with information regarding what we could work towards a safer and equitable future for women everywhere. So what we all should be working towards. And this includes the living of women and girls and other marginal groups within society. We'll also learn about what is the cost of a bra, how bras are constructed, how bra waste is generated inside and outside a carnival setting. So interesting facts. And just to introduce a little bit of bra facts, you can go to the next slide. Just to introduce a little bit of bra facts, a pair of large breasts may weigh around 8 pounds. So I know that's kind of like unusual to hear about, but it's true, it's real, and it demands a lot from a bra and a person. So we need to make sure that a lot of people have that accessibility to bras. And that's why making bras from small to large cups is never only about the beauty standards or the fabrics or the lace. It's about high quality material. And that is the most, I guess, important factor on what it is for support and comfort for women. And for reference, 8 pounds is equal to a Labrador puppy, the average size of a newborn baby, a 24-inch monitor, just to name a few. So you can just imagine. And we know that when we go to the stores, it's not a lot of bras that, number one, fit everybody's sizes, but it's not a lot of bras that are made out there for comfort. So we need to normalize the accessibility to these bras and what we could do in the future to move towards a common goal. 80 to 85% of all women wear the wrong size bra. And we wonder why, because we, had it all our lives, but we wonder why we can't get the right size of bra. So I'll tell you why. The wrong size, well, I'll tell you a little bit before I tell you why. The wrong size may cause pain in shoulders, necks, and breasts, and the often forces women have due to their bra size, wearing the wrong bra size, is in the back of their, in the back, but it often forces women to do ill-fitting bras in the back of their drawers or throw them away. So just to name a few, like you go to Victoria's Secret and you see that it's like a small bra size. So it could actually cause you to go to the hospital because you're wearing wrong sizes, and it could put a strain on your back. So that's just a little bit. And there are no shortcuts. There are no shortcuts or quick automatic solutions when manufacturing bras. Sewing a single bra may involve 35 pieces, 60 seams, 65 moments, and around 10 seamstresses work closely together to make that happen. So we understand the importance of bras, and we understand why we need more accessibility to it. So I'm going to kick it off to Miss Sandra Jordette to explain to us how bras are constructed.
So, Sandy mentioned that she's running a little late, so I'll just take over for her. I'll just step in really quick since I'm also in the Carnival field, but I'll introduce Sandra until she comes on board. So Sandy, as most people in the industry know, is a very prominent Carnival costume designer, and she makes a lot of lavish costumes all across the globe. And so she's been in the game for more than 10 years now, and she's actually lately has been focusing her efforts on her own personal brand called Sandy's Angels. So she makes luxury loungewear and sleepwear for women of all shapes and sizes. And so very excited to have her talk about her ideas later on reducing bra waste. So Sandy would have went over so Michelle just went over how a regular bra is constructed. We use about 30 to 35 small little materials to construct a bra. There's no equipment that does it. It's the same thing with designing a bra that's meant for Carnival. So we have two different types of bras for Carnival. We have regular costume bras and we have wire costume bras. So the main difference between those two are the regular bra looks like a bra that you would have in your drawer, but it has gems all over it. Whereas a wire costume bra is a little skimpier, for lack of better terms, and the base of it is made from wire framing. And Sandra's on perfect timing. Hi, Sandy.
Hi.
Hi. I just started, so you can go into introducing yourself. I briefly introduced you and then go into how wire Carnival bras are made.
Okay, sorry I missed the introduction, but my name is Sandra Jordette. I'm a Carnival costume designer in Trinidad and Tobago.
Welcome.
Welcome, Sandra. So we were just speaking about, having more accessibility to bras and how a lot of women wear the wrong bra size. So maybe you could tell us about how different bras are constructed.
Okay, well, there are two major things that you need to know when you're getting a bra. You need to know your measurement under your bust line, right around, and you need to know your cup size. So that's how come bras will come like, let's say 32B, B is the cup size, and 32 is really 32 inches around your back and under your bust line. So usually for Carnival, our bras are purchased out of China, wholesale. And then wire bras are made locally by our wire benders, and then they're covered and decorated. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it answers my question perfectly. And moving forward, so what do you think regular bras and wire bras could do? Well, including this side, sorry, about decorations and stuff, but what do you think that people can do to, like, I guess, increase the comfort in bras?
I would say a regular bra, I mean, they are made to be comfortable, a regular bra. It's I would say sometimes the underwire might be the most uncomfortable part of a bra. But in terms of the wire bra is never the most comfortable option for Carnival. It's definitely the sexier option, but it's not. Sometimes you have like a little black and blues from wearing a wire bra because it's a little uncomfortable. But usually what we do is well, especially my bras, I add extra padding and extra foam under the bust, because that's where it takes a lot of pressure under there. So it's being pressed and it's constantly moving. So I add extra foam there.
Amazing. Thank you for that. Let's move to the next slide. So just like she stated before, in Carnival bras, there's foam padding, artificial flowers and jewelry, fabrics, gems, and metals.
Embellish with anything under the sun. Like whatever you think of, you could, pick it on and embellish with.
So question about the decorations. I remember you stated a little bit previously about adding these sort of decorations on. What do you think we should do differently that, when we have to take this off and we have to donate it, or if we want to reuse the bras, what do you suggest?
Yeah, to make it more reusable. I was suggesting actually hand tacking the embellishments onto the bra, because that way you can just cut the thread and then everything comes right off basically. because I mean, right now, the fastest and the cheapest way is to use glues, because I guess as a designer, you're thinking more in terms of it lasting, it staying on for the 2-day period. Because I mean, a masquerader puts out quite a lot, so you don't want anything falling off. So, our mindset right now is just to make sure it stays on. So, the question you're asking is, how could we still make it look amazing and the customers still feel, the masqueraders still feel like they got their money's worth, but not permanently attach the embellishments. So one way was to hand tap, and then I was also thinking, if sometimes a designer may use chains or stuff that falls, and those pieces can just drape on the bra or over the bra. It doesn't necessarily need to be glued onto it. And then you could tack on your rhinestones. So, and then just take them off after.
That was excellent. And see, you saying a lot about what you do is having people asking questions. I'm gonna ask if you guys can save your questions to the end of the webinar, because that's when we'll do our Q&A. So moving forward, let's go to the next slide. We are going to introduce Elaine Mitchell-Burks from the Bra Recycler.
I am on mute. Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone's having a great afternoon/evening, because it's still afternoon here in the Phoenix area. So I'm Elaine Burks Mitchell. I am CEO and founder of the Bra Recyclers. We are a textile recycling company, and we happen to specialize in bras and other women's lingerie. We were established back in 2008, so I can't believe we've been around that long, which is great. And we are considered a social enterprise. And in terms of our mission as a social enterprise, we are not just concerned about profit, but also the impact that we're making in our community. And it was very much a conscious decision for us to become a social enterprise. I'm a firm believer that a for-profit company can do just as much, if not more, in terms of the planet and the community as a nonprofit. So we implement recycling programs to encourage the reuse of bras. And we support women and girls escaping domestic violence and human trafficking around the world, and also reducing the number of reusable bras that are going into our landfills by partnering with retailers, distributors, and manufacturers. So next slide. So I have an amazing team. So my husband is a co-founder, and he helps run our daily business and operations. We also partner with an amazing nonprofit organization called EpiHab, and that's run by Tori Rogers. As a social enterprise, one of the things that we want to do is we want to make sure we're also creating jobs for people in the community. And Tori's group works with individuals who can't work in a normal work environment. They might have a physical or mental disability or challenge. They might have epilepsy, but they can still work and they can do simple things. So we actually have them do all of the sorting of our bras that come into us. So it's been an amazing partnership, and we're so glad to have them along with us on this journey. Next slide, thank you. So I know we wanted to talk about kind of the social impact, but I think one thing we want to keep in mind is that overall, we know that the fashion industry it's an industry that we need to look at how we can reconstruct it in terms of pollution. It's one of the world's most polluting industries, and we know we need to do something about it. We have more and more products being produced. Consumers are buying more, we're keeping things less, which means things are getting thrown into our landfills and impacting our environment. So we as consumers definitely can do something. And I know we'll talk more about that when we get to solutions. But what I wanted to talk about today was more of kind of the social impact of bras and what they mean to women. And I've kind of broken it down into a couple categories. So personal and professional development. So as we work with women who are escaping domestic violence or human trafficking or just homeless, a bra is definitely something that makes you feel good when you have one, for sure. A lot of these women don't have one, but as you're trying to work your way back into the workplace or even going back to school, you need the appropriate clothing, but also you need the appropriate bra. A bra just makes you feel good. It makes you sit straighter, but you just feel good when you have that on, particularly ladies who are larger breasted. In terms of health and wellness, one of the things that is really needed and that we support is women who've had breast cancer. Many women have breast cancer and they don't have the appropriate insurance, or they can't afford their mastectomy or prosthesis. So we actually donate those to an organization. We partner with them called Impact One, who gives out bras to or mastectomy and prosthesis to women who can't afford them or don't have that insurance. And that is just so important for ladies as they're on their journey of healing. We get calls from ladies saying that I'm stuffing my bra with material or with paper. So we make sure that we, forward them over to Impact One and make sure that they have the supplies they need to give out to those ladies. Safety and security, as we were talking with Danny, as I was talking with Danny and Luke the other day, I think this is one thing a lot of people don't think about. So as a woman on the street, one of the things sometimes you don't want to do is you don't want to look feminine. You're trying to minimize your breasts to hopefully detract from getting abused or raped. Women on the street have such a higher chance of being raped or abused. And so many women, particularly if you're larger breasted, you're trying to minimize that. So a bra can be a rape deterrent, which I think a lot of people don't think about when you think about a bra. The other piece, as we've grown or worked with various organizations over the years, is breaking cultural barriers and traditions. In many cultures, particularly with Africa, we see a lot of girls who can't go to school or play sports if they don't have the appropriate underwear on. So we want to make sure that we partner with organizations to give them those bras, sports bras and regular bras, so the girls can go to school and they can play sports. There are other practices that go on that I think a lot of us aren't aware of, particularly here in America, like breast ironing practices, like breast ironing that take place, particularly in Asia and Africa. And if you're not familiar with what breast ironing is, it's a practice where when girls come into puberty, the grandmother takes a hot stone and they iron down the breast of the girl. And they're thinking that they're going to help protect this young lady from being raped or attacked, but it's a horrible practice. It definitely there's a lot of deformity that happens when they iron the breast down. But I'm working with an amazing lady who is trying to basically educate or really re-educate mothers and grandmothers in these various villages that, hey, let's try to get the girls in a bra instead of practicing breast ironing. So that's an amazing cause that we just started working with last year. And if something as simple as a bra can help with that, then we're going to try to definitely help promote that and get more of them to them. So those are just a few of those social impacts. And I guess I will turn it back over to you.
That was amazing. You just taught me something new. I had no idea that people do breast ironing, and that's crazy because, like, I know a theme throughout this webinar will be the stigma on probably having like big boobs or like trying to cover up because, you are a woman and you are more fragile than, let's say, a male. So that is really interesting on what you were talking about. Like that, I never knew that. And y'all learned something new. So we're going to move on because I'm sure that Miss Rachel, she is going to tell us a lot more about different stigmas because she is supporting the girls. So please let us know.
Thank you so much. So I'm Rachel Heger. I'm the national director of affiliate outreach for I Support the Girls. And we are a global NGO that's headquartered in the DC area. I'm based in Indianapolis, and we provide new and gently used bras, new underwear, pads and tampons, and other essential toiletries to a variety of social service organizations that are serving women and girls and menstruators. So I know that this is mostly about bras, so I'll talk about bra wearers too, and that's totally fine. We started by accident when our founder lost a bunch of weight, went to get fitted for some new bras. And she was like, I have a drawer full of perfectly fine bras. Like, they're not trash. Like, what can I do with them? And the woman who fitted her said 4 words that kind of changed her life and said, homeless women need bras. So she went back and made some calls to some big DC shelters and wanted to see if that was in fact true. And the answer was yes. And then asked what else they needed. And they said pads and tampons. So she reached out to a few of her friends and said, hey, clean out your drawers. Like, I'm going to make this donation. And one thing led to another. And she was able to donate 1,000 bras in October. And I'd heard her, it was a number of publications, and it stuck with me. And so on January 1st, 2016, I reached out to my friends and said, hey, I want to send off some bras, like, you know, let me know what you have. And on that very first day, I got 99 bras in Indianapolis. And I emailed this woman who I didn't know, and I said, hi, this is Rachel in Indianapolis, and I have a bunch of bras, and there's homeless women here too, and I think I can do something. And so we talked, and we wanted to see what would happen. And I set off to collect 3,500 bras before I turned 35, and I'm a Christmas baby. And so I was able to meet that goal in just 88 days. And so we realized that if Dana in DC can do this and Rachel in Indianapolis can do this, then why can't women everywhere? And with the right structure and support, they can. So we were able to build out our flagship program, which is the affiliate network, which I supervise. And so now thank you. And so now that's slightly out of date. Now we are at 59 affiliates across the US and globally. And it's all some incredible folks who have been inspired by Dana's story and said, you know what, this problem exists in my backyard too, let me help. And so I walk folks through an initial collection drive of collecting new and gently used bras and menstrual products, and then being able to vet social service organizations. And that's everything from homeless shelters and domestic violence orgs, but we've been able to branch out and also include Title I schools, food pantries, LGBTQ youth groups, foster care agencies, prisons, women transitioning out of prisons, addiction rehab facilities, migrant farming communities, and on and on. So really, if there are nonprofits that are helping bra wearers and menstruators, then we want to connect and be able to help as much as we possibly can. So that's our first of 4 key programs. We also do a lot with disaster relief. Since we do have affiliates all over, when there's a disaster, we're able to meet that need, particularly just recently, making sure that our Hawaiian affiliate was okay with all the flooding that's been happening there, and also with the storms down in Texas. We were able to immediately, after finding out that our affiliates were okay, be able to direct product down very, very, very quickly. We also have our Forces for Change program that targets individual populations such as breast cancer survivors or foster care organizations. And then our latest program is our DASH kits. And that stands for Dignity, Aid, Safety, and Hygiene. And those are kits that are going out to individuals who have been experiencing intimate partner violence or domestic violence that's been exacerbated by the pandemic. Because we realize that so many folks have been afraid to maybe go to shelters or, be able to have those shelters that have limited capacity because of the pandemic. And so that's been able to meet those individual needs as well. And the DASH kits are provided with brand new bras, new underwear, menstrual products of their choice, PPE, and some other like fun toiletries and some makeup and things like that. So, so that's kind of who we are, what we do.
That was actually great. And I don't think people realize that when you are donating to like a shelter, people need more than just like canned foods and the basic necessities. Like I looked up something in a case study the other week, and I seen that what homeless people prefer is socks. And I was just like, that's so interesting that they prefer socks. And this is like a basic item for everyone, but nobody would think to give homeless people socks. So when it comes to bras, people, go ahead.
Yeah, we've been able to donate tens of thousands of pairs of socks as well. And it really is one of those things that when people don't think to donate it, it's the things that are really important. You can't buy pad tampons, toilet paper, with government benefits like SNAP, TANF, things like that. And so oftentimes food can be very easy or easier to come by. But, when you really need those paper products, that's one of those things that is a lot harder to come by, especially when you menstruate for 40 years. So yeah, it's important to us.
Exactly. Thank you so much. That was an amazing presentation. And you guys need to drop your social media for everybody to see and everybody looking on live, so they will be able to definitely follow your movement. Moving forward to Danielle Mcclechy from Carnicycle. She's going to tell us a lot of new interesting facts and what's upcoming in Carnicycle as well.
Good night, everyone. Can you all hear me well? Cool. Thank you. Again, it's just so amazing to be on this kind of panel of speakers, and you guys do such excellent work, and you've been doing it for so many years. We started, myself and my co-founder, Luke Harris, started Carnicycle just over 2 years ago in November 2018. And we started it out of a desire to create a sustainable business in Trinidad and Tobago. So that's where Carnicycle is based. But we wanted it to have a huge social impact, and we wanted the messaging behind our business to be driven by positive messaging. And so we went through a bunch of business ideas until Carnival just really popped into our head. And we dismissed it a couple times, to be honest. So it wasn't on our radar and it would not leave our heads. And we just looked into it. So we went online, did a couple of research, and then we're like thinking about our experiences in Carnival. And we're like, actually, Carnival isn't that sustainable. It's an annual event, a cultural event that is celebrated in the Caribbean and over 50 plus countries at this point. And there's a lot of single-use waste associated with this event. So we're like, Carnival is an event that represents liberation, freedom, and positivity and joy. This would be the perfect mechanism to push our message of, being sustainable and integrating that into your lifestyle, as opposed to some of the other negative messages that go around, such as like the melting ice caps or the trees burning in Australia. And those are very important because we have to know the reality and our consequences. But psychology tells us that doesn't evoke change within us. So you have to want to do it. You have to make it part of your lifestyle. So that's how we landed on the concept of Carnicycle. And since then, we've been able to host 4 recycling campaigns, costume recycling campaigns between April 2019 and February 2020. And we've been able to garner an extreme amount of support within that year of us having the recycling campaign. And it halted a little bit because of COVID, but actually this season where we're not going to different carnivals, we are the busiest we've ever been because there's so much prep and planning we can do so that when carnivals are able to happen again, we're trying to make sure that they're the most sustainable event that, tourism event that you've ever seen. And so that's kind of how Carnicycle started. And so how we figured out, so we theorized that, and we thought of us being on the floor, that there's a lot of costume waste and single-use waste that comes with a lot of the parties around Carnival time. But we actually sent out a survey to all our friends and our friends of friends to actually figure out what they do with their costumes post-Carnival. So after sending out this survey to over 100 different people, we found out that people who play Carnival in different costumes, they're called masqueraders. They estimated that they throw away at least one piece of their costume after each Carnival. But after that, the headpieces, which are kind of like tiara structures that go on your head, about 17% of that is discarded. The backpacks, which are large wings, basically. Just think of a Victoria's Secrets angel if you've never seen a Carnival backpack. Those 22% of those discarded, and then bras were actually the most discarded piece that people throw away next to underwear. So to kind of paint a picture of the impact that can make if 39% of people throw away bras, well, the estimated size of a carnival can be as small as maybe 1,500 participants all the way to 60,000 participants. So if 39% of 60,000 participants throw away their bras, that's a lot of waste we have here going on. And that's just from the small survey we took. And we're actually trying to refresh our survey this year to get a lot more masqueraders feedback on it. But we realized that there is a lot of bra waste that could be, that is generated based off that survey. But then after we did the theory, and then after we did the survey, we actually went on the floor and we did these recycling drives at different carnivals. And so we found out that bra waste is not just generated during the carnival parade, but it's actually generated in an event we call Juve. So it's this really fun party, basically, that happens at the break of dawn all the way till sunrise. And it's really fun. We have a lot of paint and powder and all this glow-in-the-dark stuff thrown on us in simple terms. And you get really dirty. And so people purposely wear old clothes or the Juve bands, the people who throw on this celebration, they provide like single-use t-shirts and stuff like that. And after it gets dirty, people don't wash them. They actually throw them away. And in this picture on the far right, you'll see all of the Juve waste. And you'll see bras all the way on top of that. So that's when we realized, so carnival waste is not just the costume bras, but also the Juve bras and the clothes people throw away after that event. And so while we aim to recycle these things, because costume bras, the fabric and the plastic gems on them, they contribute to textile and plastic waste. So they're contributing to two main types of waste that are clogging up our landfills, and they can be easily diverted from the waste streams. They're also a waste of craft and labor. Sandra could speak to it, creating a carnival bra and all the time that goes into it to make it look so beautiful for people to throw it away after 2 days. It's kind of just a waste of, your love and your labor. And we realized that there's a whole mindset to it that's still dominating in the Caribbean, where a lot of people see these costumes as just a costume. So similar to like a Halloween costume, you put it on, your jack-o'-lantern this year, but next year you're a skeleton and you throw away that costume. That's kind of how people think of these costumes for the most part, because part of the industry is that new designs are created every year. And so the only way to play carnival is really to purchase a new costume. So there's that whole thing, and people don't see it as a bra you could wear after. So that's how we discovered bra waste, and we'll talk about in the solutions part how we fight it.
And I'm so glad that you segue into the solution part, Danielle, because and you all sort of talked about, bra waste, but what is your unique way in tackling bra waste? And we could start with Sandra. She kind of mentioned it before, but you can, restate, or you could say any other unique ways that you want to deal with that bra waste.
I think, honestly, we don't know. Like, I mean, I'm learning so much today, and thank you so much for this. I know for sure that masqueraders, they don't think past the costume, as you mentioned. They purchasing this and they just ready to have a great time with it for 2 days and then get rid of it, or some of them take it with them. I'm thinking masqueraders need to know, like maybe when they're collecting their costume, and you can tell them, if you hand in your bras, I mean, we're gonna have to have stations where they could actually drop off their bra, maybe one of the airports, so that they know that you can either come back to the mass camp, hand in your bra, or donate your bra. I'm almost sure if women knew, they would definitely they'll definitely help. They'll definitely do it.
Definitely. And anybody could just jump in. But I was thinking the same way. If we really had, a lot of more platforms or a lot of more like bins set up for people to donate their items.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
Definitely. And I know, Danielle, that you did set up bins before. Maybe you could talk a little bit about how you tackled that.
Yeah, sorry. So that's actually how we collect it. So our process is that we work with local hotels and restaurants and other local businesses to set up donation spots during a carnival period. So the donation bins will be set up before Juve, and then they will stay at these locations for roughly a week after. So it gives times for both foreigners traveling into the countries and locals to drop off their bras. And the airport is one of those places that we're trying to get next time, because a lot of foreigners come to these events and they're not going to be able to go out their way to some of these locations. That's why we try to put them at hotels, but everybody's going to go back to the airport. So that's a place that we're gunning for next time to increase our collection. But our solution was basically to find a way to recycle these costumes. So in this little chart, you'll see that there's kind of two paths, and there's the recycle path and then there's the discard path. So you see, when you recycle a costume, particularly we're talking about bras, but there's just so many different ways that the bra could be used before it ultimately is unusable and then has to end in the landfill. Whereas if you throw it away, it's just going to go into landfill and take 50 plus years to break down or more, depending on the different items that it's created from. So particularly with bras, what we do is we donate them, as well as we have people help break them down so that we can reclaim some of the materials from them. And so that's what we do. So we collect both male and female costumes, but because we're talking about bras, I'll just show you the female costume here. So that's the backpack and the tiara that I was referring to earlier. But so on a bra, Sandra and Michelle talked about some of the materials on there, the plastic beads and gems, the jewelry and the fabric. And actually, a lot of these items are imported. Either the individual items are imported, or like Sandra said, they'll outsource the bras and the whole bra is imported from China. But these materials are pretty pricey. And so for ordinary artisans, crafters, or even someone who is trying to start off in the design industry, the costume design industry, these items are pricey. And so by reclaiming them from recycled bras, they're able to get them at a much cheaper price. And so that's one way that we're creating that social impact. I'll show you in another slide of what people have reclaimed for their businesses and stuff. And so the next thing that we do with the bras are we donated them. So in Jamaica and Barbados and Trinidad, 3 out of the 4 Carnival's campaigns, we were able to donate 50% or more of the bras that we collected. And we donated these to women's shelters, and the women's shelters, none of them particularly use them for actual functional day-to-day wearing, but they used it more for arts and crafts purposes. We've also been able to donate bras to this organization called Free the Girls. And what Free the Girls does is they take bras that are donated to their organization and they give them to women in mostly third world countries that have experienced domestic violence or sex trafficking. And so these women now take those bras, reclaim the bras, and then sell them. So the bras that are donated to Free the Girls provide women in these countries jobs. So when we were talking to Free the Girls, we were thinking that because the bras are so fancy and gemmed up, that they'll give the woman, they'll sell for a higher price point. So that was our idea. And we sent our first batch to them over the COVID period. So we're still waiting on the results, but we're really excited to see if that actually is true. So that's what we're doing. And just a little bit more of our impact. So we've collected over more than 200 costumes, and we classify a costume with 3 or more parts. So so if we have at least 3 out of like the 5 parts of a costume, we'll count that as a costume. And so out of all our costume pieces, we've been able to donate over 100 of those over the year we've been doing this recycling campaign. And you can see in some of these pictures, we have artisans coming here and they're actually taking the gems off the bras, and they take it home. And so again, so our impact is offering these affordable materials to artisans, emerging designers. We're supporting a lot of small businesses that way. We have about 3 or 4 people who own jewelry businesses that come to our events where we allow them to break down the materials and such. And then in the meantime, while we're not having a carnival, we promote a lot of awareness and upcycling, so that people who don't want to recycle their bras can upcycle them. Upcycling the wire bras, Sandra, you could speak to it a little bit, is much easier than upcycling a regular costume bra because of the materials that's used to construct a wire bra. So we teach people how to do that. And currently we're working with designers to come up with a creative and sustainable alternative to how bras are currently being designed. So we're doing all of this in our downtime, and once COVID is gone, we're still sticking by our goal of trying to recycle 10,000 costumes by 2025. So
that's extremely amazing what you're doing, because like to Elaine's point, she talked about social impact, and partnering with different organizations like Free the Girls is definitely making a better social impact. And you see a lot of it's only a few organizations that actually support women. So to see that you are partnering with other things and tying your theme into somebody else's is really inspiring. And Elaine, you could speak more about what you guys do to tackle the bra waste problem.
Sure. One of the things I know Danny wanted me to talk about was just finding a good quality bra. So one way to kind of, I guess, kind of move into some of the things we do, but just first working with women to help them understand how to find the right bra, I think is real important, because again, many people buy bras, they don't try them on, and guess what? They just sit in your drawer. So one of our ambassadors, we were talking about some tips to share with you guys, and Beverly is a Measure to Fit. She has a lingerie store in New York, and we said, oh, let's come up with two tips to share here. So I think it's a lot easier to find a good quality bra and a more affordable one, because there's so many online retailers now, bra retailers, where you didn't see that before, but now you can get a bra online. That there's good and bad in that. You have people who, particularly lingerie boutiques, who are really not real, they don't like that as much, because they still feel you need to come into a lingerie store, but there's the availability is there. We were talking about the average cost. It's still, about $30 to $50 for a really good bra. It definitely can go up or down depending on the style, the manufacturer, what you're looking for. But I would say for a really good bra, between $30 and $50. And as you know, that's very expensive for a lot of women, and particularly women who can't afford them. But I would have to say, one of the things I highly recommend still, and I know people don't like it, but get fitted. Even, now there's so many, there's YouTube, you can figure out how to fit yourself. There's there's a lot of ways to get fitted, and it doesn't hurt. It really does not hurt, but it gives you a baseline to start from. And then again, your bra size will change based on the brand, the style. It will definitely change, but at least it gives you something to start with. I do bra fitting for ladies. We do a huge event here in Phoenix called Your Best Day Ever, and it's 300 plus ladies who are homeless. They come together. I fit them. I get as many as I can, but I can eye it now because I just know it so well. But you know, it's the first time many of them ever have been fitted, and they just love the fact that now they have a ideal of what to look for. So it's okay to get fitted. So when you're shopping for a bra, some tips in doing that, we say look for a bra that has a smoother or molded cup, because again, you can wear that with everything. It looks good under your t-shirts. You know, you don't see a lot of the seams. So look for a smoother cup or molded cup bra, and that'll just let you wear that with so many different things. Nowadays, there's a lot of bras that are skin tone. So look for a bra that has your skin tone, that's closer to your skin tone, so you can wear that with lighter shirts or white shirts. So and you can wear with black too, but more of a skin tone bra is always a good thing to have in your wardrobe. With your cups, look for something that you're filling the cup out, unless you're choosing to show a little more, because sometimes it depends on what you're using your bra for. But you know, try to get the cup filled in well, instead of having it spilling out, unless that's what you want to do. Make sure when you try a bra on, you move around in it. Make sure you lift your arms and make sure that the band is not raising up. That's definitely one sign that you need to adjust your band. So that's definitely something we highly recommend. A lot of people don't do, and that's why it doesn't fit so well when people get it home, or they, you know, or they order from online. And then just another simple tip: when you get a bra, make sure you fasten it on that first set of hooks, so that as it stretches out, you can, you know, move it in as it stretches out over time. So those are just some tips in terms of finding a good quality bra, which helps keep things from sticking in the back of your drawer because they don't fit or they never fit. So just a few little tips that you guys can follow.
And you know, to that point, I definitely understand when you say finding a good bra, because when you really have a good bra, it lasts for years. Like for years, people say, "Oh, I'm about to put on my good bra," you know. So
absolutely. And you should always have, you know, at least 3 to 5 in there so you can change out. So make sure you're changing out your bras so they will last a little longer. So I recommend at least 3 to 5 really good bras, and because they do wear out. And so you have to be, you know, conscious of that. In terms of like our impact, I looked at it from the standpoint of the 3 pillars of sustainability, and that's people, planet, and profit. From the standpoint of people, you know, we couldn't do what we do without the partnership of our bra recycling ambassadors. We have ambassadors all over the world. We've been doing this since 2008. We've donated over 4 million bras, and we have over 100 nonprofits that are signed up with us. So when a nonprofit contacts us and they need bras for women in their program, we send them out to them for free. So that's one of the goals as a social enterprise that we make sure we do, because I started this business first and foremost because there was a need in the community and we wanted to fulfill that need. I wanted to figure out how to fulfill that need. And so I went the route of textile recycling and the whole recycling industry to help fulfill that need. When I started the social enterprise, one of my goals always has been, how can I make a living from my giving? And being a social enterprise allows me to do that. So from a people standpoint, we have some amazing ambassadors who help us get the word out about what we do in their communities. And they actually are holding bra drives in their communities. We support those bra drives. And it's just been amazing to have those partnerships with people. We get, you know, even though we do a lot of shelters, we also do schools. We also do, like with I Support the Girls, we'll do disaster support. Whoever needs them, we'll provide those bras. I had a real quick story that last week that just really touched me. Our teacher actually called me for a young lady who was in 6th grade, and she needed a bra badly. She was a 44G, and this is a 6th grader. So if you can imagine what she's going through, she's teased quite a bit, just not having that support that she needs just to feel good about herself. You know, she stated that she wanted to cut her breast off. She told her counselor, because again, someone that young needing that size bra is just I can't even imagine. So we made sure to supply her with, 44G bras and also with new panties that go with those bras. So it's just little things that means so much that we are able to help with. From a planet perspective, one of our goals as a recycling company is that we've always been advocates of the whole circular economy. So one of my goals as CEO is really talking with other executives and retailers and manufacturers about how to start a recycling program in their company. Because I think it starts there, and it doesn't start with just the returns and overstock, but it starts even before that in terms of how they're producing their bras, what materials they're using. So that's going to take a lot longer to change, but at least we can start helping them think about it from the standpoint of what they're doing with their returns and overstock. Because many of the companies that we work with, landfill and burn is their policy, and we've got to get away from that. So it's a lot of it's a matter of me educating or re-educating them on the impact of what they're doing, the impact on the planet. The other part too is that from the profit standpoint, many consumers nowadays, particularly millennials and Gen Zs, they're making decisions on who they shop with based on if they have a sustainability position or not. So I think retailers are going to have to shift because they're seeing that people are buying because they believe in what the company is doing in terms of impacting the planet and impacting the communities that they live in. So they're going to start seeing those dollars shift. So retailers are going to have to do something to engage those customers, and that engagement hopefully will translate into increased revenue. So that's where that profit side comes into. So it's a little bit about what we're doing and how we're doing it a little differently.
Okay, and that's me. And I will keep this super fast. I know that we're super short on time and to end in 2 minutes. Yeah, I echo a lot of what Elaine just said and see that, especially with a number of our generous corporate partners. That slides a little bit about our affiliate network, who are some incredible folks around the country. That's when we were able to get together pre-COVID. We've grown since then. And then on the right, that thing with the road is what we call the road to dignity, and that's kind of how we get bras from maybe somebody's drawer or maybe our corporate partner, and get them to the women that are being served by the 2,800 social service agencies that we partner with. So to date, since 2016, high level numbers, we've been able to collect and distribute over 13 million products, and that goes up every single day because of our incredible affiliates who are on the ground maintaining those relationships with the social service organizations, and due to everybody from individuals, my next door neighbor will throw some bras over the fence to me, to yoga studios and schools and churches and Girl Scouts and sororities and on and on and on, bat mitzvah projects, to big corporate partners here in Indianapolis. The NCAA, of course, is going on right now. They've donated to us and hosted drives. So it's real easy to get involved, make an impact. That's a slide about our disaster relief, which I mentioned earlier. We've been able to get a lot of things out very quickly, which is really important to us as an organization to move fast, because if this is something that you need, you really can't wait for red tape. So we really just try and move very, very quickly. So I Support the Girls is extremely accessible. I told you our new program. If you want to request a dash kit for somebody experiencing domestic violence that's been exacerbated by COVID, you can absolutely go on our website and request one for somebody in need. We have a link on our website to a simple form. And so that is a sample of what's being sent out. But very, very simple to get involved. If anybody's interested in hosting a drive anywhere in the world, I am more than happy to walk you through simple steps. You can start making an impact in your community, because it's one of those things that I've learned 5 years with the organization. Oh, and those numbers are super outdated. Already they're outdated. which is just, part of the game. But really, we try and make it as simple as possible for folks to get involved and help out other women, because women really do want to help out women. And we really do understand what it means when you are able to stand up straighter and with dignity because your clothes fit. So that might be a catalyst to make other changes in your life. So I'm a big believer in ending on time. So I'll go ahead and stop there. But I do really appreciate everyone for taking the time. I learned a lot on this call today for sure, and really do appreciate it. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Rachel. And before we hop off today, I want to open it up to the audience if anybody has any questions to ask our lovely panelists.
One thing I'll say too, I just want to add to that, is that one thing that we have done, I think that's helped with some of our retail partners, is that, we'll take all quality bras. So it doesn't matter if they're ratty or if they're new, we'll take all quality, which I think helps open up the discussion with them a little bit better, because they know a lot of the returns that they're getting in they're not as good. So that, I think, helps us a lot too in opening up those discussions for recycling programs.
Definitely, because even I could share an experience that happened just recently due to the pandemic. My school was saying they didn't allow us to donate bras to the cause that we're trying to do while donating items in Trinidad and Tobago. And we couldn't donate, like, let's say gently used bras, but it's like working towards removing that stigma, because they're thinking that just because it was worn, it's automatically bad.
Right.
And I actually have
panties is a whole different thing. That's a whole different thing. But bras is definitely different. But you want new panties. So
oh, definitely.
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 And it's a mindset change. And I think it's a more, particularly here in America, it's that mindset change that it's okay to have used, to wear secondary, clothing. That's definitely a mindset change. And I know we didn't get into some of the other topics around the fashion industry, but when you talk about that whole fast fashion where, get it out as quick as possible, get as much as, buy as much, blah, 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 and it's just a cycle, it's a mindset change for us also as consumers. So, and I think, Danny, I was saying this to you the other day, I'm like, hey, I saw you in that shirt last week. Well, that's okay. You don't have to have you on every time. It's, you can wear that again, but that's a mindset change that we all have. You're on social media, you saw something they had that on at the Grammys last time. That's okay, but that's a whole mindset change to reduce the amount of things going into our landfills. We wear it once, we throw it away. So we as consumers, particularly women, we can help change that.
Mm-hmm. And so I think that's why all of us on the call, we're coming up with innovative solutions to kind of satisfy both. So nowadays there's been a rise in clothing rental businesses. Mm-hmm. So you're renting clothes, you can rent luxury wear, you can rent basics, and it allows you to swap out the clothes as much as you want to, keep in your inner fashionista, but not at the expense of the planet. So
I think you have a question here, Sarah.
Hi, good night. How are you guys? Thank you so much for this webinar. It was so amazing. The information was absolutely amazing. I am actually new to the recycling upcycle, as Danny would have known, because of COVID, it really made me pay attention to how much waste I do, right? And I really have been driven to do more. And you're absolutely right, Elaine, with respect to mindset change. And granted, our undies in the Caribbean is not something that we like to talk about, specifically with Carnival wear and like underwear. But it's amazing now because I've been really looking for finding ways to help the environment. You see, specifically the migrant and refugee community in Trinidad is so high that now they're the untapped resource with respect to ensuring upcycling is happening, thrifting is happening, and you'll be seeing a lot of improvements with respect to younger generations understanding the importance of upcycling and thrifting, because you see little girls, and I mean little girls, I mean teenagers on Instagram, they're posting their thrifting store and they're in school and they're doing it, and it's really amazing. And you see things like this, it makes it more aware. So I donated to Carnicycle the first time this year, and it's only because I happened to come across it on Instagram. But I mean, if it's out there more, I really believe that people would go to it now more than ever because of our social responsibility. Somehow it taps into it. So thank you guys so much. This was amazing.
Ew.
For coming on, Sarah. I'm so happy that you learned a lot from this. And to your point, I've been seeing a lot of those thrift stores pop up on Instagram as well in Trinidad and Tobago. So I think that market is definitely increasing. But yeah, the stigma needs to be broken down. I was talking to Elaine and Rachel about how I tried to find organizations to donate gently used bras after they were washed, and none of them were taking it. The only organization that I know takes gently used bra is this organization called Diane's Mastectomy for persons with breast cancer who have undergone the procedure to remove their breasts. And so they're the only ones, but I think it's that mindset, going back to that, as Elaine was saying, and everyone else said it on the call too.
we will take any condition bra. So just so you know that, so you can pass that on. All conditions we will take, because we go through a whole sorting process to, say what's, different grades that in the textile recycling industry, you kind of break it into different grades. So we'll take them all. Yep.
And then I actually have one question before we head out. So Danielle kind of mentioned it before, but having to pivot in the pandemic, what do you think was the hardest challenge when having to pivot with your organizations and making sure that you're tapping into the people that need to be reached at this time?
Do you want me to go?
And anyone can jump in, yeah.
It was interesting because during COVID, we never stopped taking bras. So, which helped a lot because we kept getting a lot of emails. Are you taking them? I'm like, yep, we're still taking them. So we actually saw an influx of bras coming in because we were one of the only organizations still taking them during COVID because people were cleaning out their drawers. And so we saw a lot come from women all over the country. So some of our nonprofits weren't taking things, but a lot of them, because when they sign up with us, a lot of nonprofits won't take them directly. But when they sign up with us, they know they will only get new or like new bras. That's the only thing that we will give to our nonprofits. So we still got a lot of requests because, as you probably read during COVID, domestic violence went up quite a bit during COVID. So there were a lot of people going into the shelter. So there still was a huge need.
Yeah. For Carnicycle, again, so we weren't collecting bras through Carnival, but we host monthly events now, those Upcycle events where we not only sell the materials at a discounted rate, but we actually collect Carnival costumes. So we'll have about 3 or 4 people will say like, hey, I have costumes and like for 3 years in my closet. Can I recycle it? When can I next recycle it? And so we have started using those events as places where people could come and drop off their costume. And additionally, we've had a mass band who was able to donate over like 500 unused costume bras to us. They're brand new, but we've been trying to work again with designers and figure out a way, how can we donate these bras? How can we give them away, but make them functional? Or if we're giving it away, it'll have to be for like arts and crafts. But we've been trying to figure out what to do with these bras. We've just been sitting on them, but we're brand new, so we don't want to just take them apart, Yeah, they literally.
You can also use them like, you see I have I always use them as a discussion point. So when I go out to events or have a table, you know, it draws people in when they see the decorated bras. And a lot of the ones that I have stories with them, because we've had ladies from shelters or just ladies who've experienced breast cancer. They write little stories. So we're able to share those stories, and it kind of opens up the dialogue for me to talk about recycling. So that's another way to think about it, is to put them on display also. And also, you never know what stories are behind some of the bras that they have on, those decorated bras of the women who are taking part in Carnival. So maybe even start to collect some of those stories and displaying those stories. You never know if they've experienced domestic violence or homelessness or whatever. So that just something to think about is making stories out of those, collecting the stories around the women who are wearing them.
I love the collaborative energy here.
Elaine has some great ideas. She really does.
Absolutely.
So that's good. I mean, yeah, I'm even picturing like maybe a large bra monument in the capital of our town. I don't know how that would go, but that would make a statement, definitely.
It absolutely would. Yeah.
Final question for tonight. What can we expect out of each organization here in the future?
You want to go, Dan?
For Carnicycle, so this is actually one webinar out of a year's worth of webinars. We're going to have monthly webinars from now until the end of the year, talking about different aspects of how Carnival can be sustainable socially, environmentally, and economically. And so we'll have more of these in the futures with different speakers from different industries, from the events industries to the energy industry and more, and talking about how we can collaborate together to make Carnival future, hopefully next year, but if not, 2023.
That's great. That's great. And I definitely, I hope to partner with you more, Danny, in terms of what you're doing. I think for the bra recyclers, one of our goals is definitely, you know, working with retailers and distributors and manufacturers to, again, educate them and start more recycling programs. We've started a rewards program where if people can't go into the store to take their bras, we still want to provide incentive for them to do that. So providing a discount if they recycle, and then they can buy new products and services from that vendor. So just continue to think outside the box in terms of how we continue to get women and just people in general to recycle. And then of course, growing and you know, donating more and more to organizations. So that's always something in the forefront of our mind to do that.
Yes. We'll get some bras donated to some organizations in Trinidad and Tobago.
And thank you guys for inviting me. I really enjoyed this and I really appreciate it. I love what you guys are doing. This is great. This is amazing.
Thank you. And Miss Sandra, anything from you in the future?
Thanks so much for inviting me. And you know, my mind is racing right now. I would love to stay in touch with Danny and try to figure out what kind of incentives we can give to masqueraders, you know, to really get some bras, get all their bras back. I really think women will be interested in this, so I'm excited.
Yes, I'm excited too, and I don't even have the organization. But I'm excited for everybody and following everyone. Definitely, I'm going to keep up to touch with everybody. And Miss Sarah, I don't think you jumped in. Anything from you in the future?
Sarah's just a participant.
Oh, not Sarah. Sorry, not Sarah. Oh, she had hopped off. Okay, that's right. Okay. But I want to thank everybody for coming out. You guys have been amazing panelists. Definitely want to stay in touch with you guys. And for everybody who is viewing on live, make sure you get their contact information. Make sure you follow their social media handles because they will be dropping more stuff in the future for girls and women. And I just want to thank you guys again. This was such an amazing panel.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Till next time.
Till next time. Thanks.
Till next time. Bye.
And let's keep the dialogue going for sure. I'd love to.
Definitely.
Thanks.